excuse us.
Right, exactly.
It's used a lot in corporate America.
Exactly. But when was the last time we were in a corporate situation, right?
I'm in the corporate.
Sounds ridiculous,
I'm in a corporate situation every day.
Not
so.
with me. Like, what do you mean?
Something you scream out after being in the
Goofball.
bedroom for like.
Right. hey, I'm gonna. Oh man, this is good, but I've got a heart out.
Right, are you ready for something I'm
I
not
gotta
ready
go.
for?
I gotta go. I've got a heart out. Ooh, I'm out. Where did he go? He had a heart out.
This is Relationship Talks with Rick and Name, and I am Rick.
And I am incredibly excited.
Again.
You know why?
Why are you excited? It's because it's me?
Because I'm the DJ Blue.
Oh. Really? Today, joining us again, we have Antoinette.
Woo! Go!
Hello.
And Kendra.
Woo!
What's up?
Go!
Eating cantaloupe.
It was equal that time.
And water.
And water.
But I'm not minding my business because I'm nosy.
Oh,
Ooh.
hey.
That's exciting.
She is nosy though, but
Oh man, don't insult our guests.
Co-sign that.
I'm just messing with you, Kay. Oh, my bad.
Who you
Kendra,
talking to?
My bad.
Who you
Kendra.
talking to? See,
Just
this
messing with you, Kendra.
is
I don't want Antoinette to stab me.
this
I
is
was
the
just
part of the
messing
story
with
go
where
ahead.
Richard Whitnight, where it went wrong.
This is where Richard effed up. So today on this show, we're gonna be talking about dating. If Naaman can ever get up off the ground. You okay?
I'm good, man.
All right, Naaman's
What
back.
happened over there?
He's falling out over here.
I almost lost my marbles.
So my first question that I have for everybody, he's lost his marbles a long time ago, folks. My question that I have for everybody is, what makes a good date? Whether it be a first date or whatever kind of date, what makes a good date? And because of the face that you're making, I'm going to go to Candace on that first. She's like shaking her head like,
I'm
wow, that
always
made this
making
face.
faces.
You are.
So I think it's about. I mean, it's a lot of other things, but
Talking
I
with
think
your
my three
hands.
main things are creativity,
Mm-hmm.
intent,
Mm-hmm.
and preparation.
Mm.
It
So
sounds
I
like
need
you've
you
written
to
this
have
down
all
before.
that.
She did. She
No, because I
prepped.
think a lot about dating because we as a dating pool, I guess, aren't so great at it in a lot of ways, and we can improve with those three
Terrible.
things. Yeah.
Kendra, what about you? What makes a good date?
What makes a good date is if I'm attracted to the person and I really like them. And then all he has to do is actually prepare the date. And then I'm pretty much good.
Naaman, what
That's so
you?
simple.
I know, right? It's super simple. What you got, Naaman?
Well, to be quite honest with you, the perfect date for me, I just don't want to yell at anybody.
I feel like this.
I don't want anybody yelling at me. Just sit there, relax.
He's been in abusive relationships.
all the time. No, I would say the perfect date. I don't know. Just I don't believe in like planning anything. So
You like
I just,
serendipity.
like I want to say like no.
That's
Don't
already
you
a
dare
problem
shake
for
your
me.
heads. That'll be a problem for you.
We got schedules.
hear
we
me
grown
out.
women. We got
Hear me
schedules.
out. All right. So it's like okay, like when I pick my meals, right? You pick a vegetable and then you pick a protein, right? So for my like if the perfect date for me, you pick what you're gonna eat, right? You pick what you're gonna do. You go and do it. And then if you want to do something else, you just find other stuff to do. I mean, it's
that's
more
still
fun being
a plan.
spontaneous. You
Yeah,
say
that's
what?
that's still a plan, and I think
not really
we're
a
more
plan.
getting at to like, okay, you're not just hitting me up, randomly and saying let's go do something. Like you actually take account, like we have to schedule this thing to happen,
Well, you
and then when
schedule
we
it.
do it, you're not just fumbling all over the place because you don't know what you want to do. Like you're
Right.
not asking me what do you want to go eat. You've already chosen. Like that it drives
Yeah.
me up the wall.
I think the
Right.
thing for women is that a lot of times you guys dress for the occasion. So if you don't know what you're doing, you really don't know how to properly prepare for the date.
Well, that too, but it's also just intention. Like
Yeah.
if your thing is to not we're trying to get to know each other, but also like we're trying to impress each other too. We're trying to see if we're a good fit. If you can't even do something as simple as plan what we're gonna do, plan what we're gonna eat, or even ask in advance so we can plan together and schedule together, then it's just like you're not gonna be good at those things in a relationship.
Yeah.
Man.
And that's already just like I'm not wasting my time.
I
on
mean,
that.
but you can have a good date in a relationship. And sometimes it's just spontaneous. It's like,
Boom.
hey, you know what?
That's
It's like, hold up, we ain't doing it. Let's go get some ice cream. Let's go. Like, do you want to go out? You want to go for a drive? Let's get in the car. Let's just do something.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, but y'all already know each other and each other's schedules.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean anything.
When
You
don't
can
know the
still
person, you're not.
you can still say, "Hey, let's go out, let's hang out," and then
can,
just
but that less
go.
likely happens. It's a less. If I just met you, you're not about to be like, it's probably not
Just
going.
hop in my
I'm
car.
probably not going to be open or comfortable with just having a random date with you. I'm probably not going to. But to hit back on something that Kay Antoinette said was, a lot of men like women to be submissive, right?
She said that with a
And
big
in order
smile
for me,
too.
listen, in order for me to be submissive, I need to know that you can lead, right? So the first step of you leading is you creating that date. Look, I've made reservations here, or we're going to go here. Okay, cool. He's a planner. He may be a leader. That's what I'm looking at when
This
we date.
face that Antoinette is making while Kendra is talking.
I mean, because it's honest, and it's not saying that every woman is going to play that role in every
Mhm.
way, but we want to know. Like, I think the biggest thing and why it became a thing for me is when I looked over like my connections with people, and I realized we didn't have the initial thing, right, or that I was the one that was planning dates and actually intentional with them and creative with them. I realized that that's the same thing they lacked throughout the connection when we got further down the
Mhm.
line.
Hmm.
So when
Yeah.
you show up and you aren't showing me that you know how to do these things, I'm already looking at you sideways because time is money and you have to give me a reason to want to spend time with you. It's not saying you have to do it all by yourself. I don't really mind you asking, hey, what you want to eat? Because I'm a picky
Yeah.
eater, like, or where you want to eat.
Yeah.
But don't show up the day of and you ain't got no plan. And you're asking me a million questions because you have not really thought this thing out.
I feel like honestly it's a slippery slope, and for me what makes a good date is it's not creativity, it's not location, it is strictly and singularly it's just the company that you're with. If I have chemistry with that person, then
I'm saying basically the amount of time you're spending. I think that's what's really important. What? Oh, no. Don't shake your head at me, Canton.
it's not the
Don't
amount
you
of
shake your head at me.
It's not the amount of time. It's the company. It's all about the company because I can think about being somewhere where you don't want to be, but if you with people that you really enjoy, then you're gonna enjoy that situation a lot more than you would if you were doing something else. So for me, what makes a good date is having someone good that you can interact with, someone that is into you and you're into, and having that company. So I feel like for me, that is the main determining factor when it comes to whether a date is good or not. That's gonna make the date good. Like, because you could do something, think about it. You could have like the best plan ever. You could go to the best restaurant. It could be, y'all could go do something really fun. But if her attitude is crappy or if his attitude is crappy, then it's still gonna be a bad date. So all that creativity and planning and all of that other stuff, it's not gonna mean anything if you don't have the chemistry and y'all don't have the communication and y'all don't get along.
Oh, we've had that too. And I'm not saying that, of course, the person matters. Of course, like whatever connection you got with that person, if they're compatible or if you're really interested in each other, it matters. But when you don't just focus on that, the surrounding circumstances matter too. Like, I just don't feel like you can just show up and expect to not have to put in any effort. Like, I think that's my main thing. Like, I want to know, like, you put in some effort for this time that we're spending with each other because I'm doing it too. I'm getting dressed. You know what I'm saying? I'm making a deal. I'm doing my hair. I'm trying to smell good. If you come in and you're just showing up and you're just thinking, I'm gonna take her to Sonic, and we just about to,
Hey,
that's cute. That's
They
actually
have
a cute
good.
idea.
They have good milkshakes. Okay.
They do have good ice cream and stuff, but it's also just like I said, you just got to know that effort is going to be placed for that connection because you have to continue to date each other throughout the relationship. Like, this is where you start. And if you starting at the bare minimum, I can't trust that you're gonna keep this up.
Right. And if you look at it, it's almost like a job interview, right? You're gonna come and put your best foot forward. You're gonna be on time. You're gonna make sure that you are prepared for the questions that they may ask. Same thing when you're on a date with me, I'm interviewing you, probably interviewing me too. So the first thing that I'm looking for is a man I can submit to, and I'm not gonna say I can't submit to you, but I am looking for a man that can show me that he can lead me. And the first step is to lead that date. Because one of my issues, I don't know what this deal is, it's not my issue specifically, but like sometimes guys, they talk, and they'd be like, "Oh, I can't wait to see you." Okay, so what you gonna do about it?
Yes. Like, I'm available. I've let you know my schedule.
Yeah. Right, exactly. And I've had that too. Like,
So-
okay, when are you usually off? Okay, these are the days I'm free. So I'm expecting you to make moves after that.
I feel y'all on that, and I totally feel y'all. But the thing is, see, the thing that you might enjoy, Kendra, the thing that you might enjoy, Antoinette, might not be the same things that I enjoy or Naaman enjoys.
Ask.
I know, but to see, the thing is that
I don't care.
if it's up to me to plan, I might be like, hey, so I know you're off, and I know that I'm off, and it all depends on how deep you are in a relationship. I might be like, hey, like, I went and got your favorite wine, or I went and got some wine, and I went and got us some food, and like this new movie just came out on streaming. Let's sit down and stream and like cuddle up, because see, for me, like quality time and physical touch are my love languages.
What did you specifically like do there? You
What
were
is-
intentional.
Yeah.
Was that not one of the three things?
Yeah.
But
You
I
were
mean, it was
creative.
one of the three things.
No,
What's
you were
creative about
creative.
that? What's creative about that?
Absolutely.
You were creative enough to know, like, okay, you know what? Let me get her favorite wine. Let me make
Yeah.
sure I get some food that we both like. Let me make sure I got a plan in place to watch a movie. You just did everything we said. We're not saying you have to do
Yes.
this on an extravagant level. What we're
Yes.
saying is people are showing up without even that.
Yes.
You know,
And then I think the dynamic of the relationship matters too, because if we just met, what's acceptable? That's not acceptable what you just said for a first date. You're not going to
Yeah,
hit me
first
up
date
and
is
say,
not
I know that you like this, come over. That's not happening. But if we've been dating, that's acceptable. So the level of where you are in dating matters
Yeah.
as well. And like I said, for that first date, you need to be showing me that you are a leader.
Yeah, y'all went straight to the first date though. I mean, I'm just talking about a date in general, but I feel y'all like y'all getting
What?
y'all
They
getting
getting
What?
lit.
tested.
Yeah,
I
because,
like
it's,
getting
because
lit.
it's levels to this.
Like, we
No,
ain't
'cause
been
it's
on a
levels
bunch
to
of good
this.
dates. Like they
Usually we're
assertive. They
softer.
assertive.
That's assertive. They're
They
not
Whatever.
aggressive.
Not
It's
aggressive.
levels to this, and for the men who are listening, they need to know that is acceptable when you've been dating. I don't want a man to hear this and be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's a cool date." No, not for a first date.
Right.
It's not. No,
because I
There's
tell you
levels to
what,
dating.
I've done a lot of dating during the COVID, like during the
During
pandemic.
the
when it
COVID.
first
The
hit. During
COVID. Well, that's what it
during the
is.
pandemic. I know what I meant. During the pandemic,
The
when it
COVID
first
The
hit,
syndrome.
COVID.
the vid. And one of the things that I realized, like when I first started out, and I had to kind of, do some self-reflection too, was I'm a natural leader. So if you put me in any situation, I'm going to take the initiative when I see there is none. And so sometimes I can't spot, like you said, Kendra, if that man is a leader right then and there, because if I see a need, I'm going to feel it. What I found was I was the one that was planning a lot of dates. And these men, they were just showing up. So I'm just like, okay, when I actually saw it was a problem,
Were they paying for the dates though?
they pay for them, but that, I mean, at the end of the day, like, how
That's
hard is
not
it? I think one of my first
right.
dates, I met up with a guy. He was saying, he was doing everything, saying, he wanted to, get up or whatever. And I'm like, cool. But he was dragging his feet. So I gave it a time and a place, see if it worked. Okay, cool. That's the planning process, right? And when it got closer to time, I'm like, okay, well, it's a park nearby. Let's go to the park. We walked around the park, talk. All right. Afterwards, let's go get ice cream. Why am I doing all this work?
I mean, I think for most men,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even speak predominantly for most men. Picking it out, like going to do something, I think that's cool, like having something planned out. But most of the time for me, with the females that I've talked to, like Richard was saying, not often would I find, hey, they don't like to do the thing. And I'm okay with doing anything. I'm okay with eating anything. I can adjust. I have no problem with adjusting, but a lot of the females, hey, they don't want to do the things that I do. I had one chick that I was talking to. She loved bingo. I don't like bingo like that. But
She
that
was
was like,
75?
you say
But
what?
then you don't have people compatible enough to date.
I mean, so hold
but
up.
I'm
The thing
saying,
is,
like,
you can be
that's-
compatible and not like the same things. So that's
I mean,
true
of
too.
course.
She
but
enjoyed me going to bingo with her. That was like, she enjoyed that. She enjoyed me going to bingo and
But
us
he
going to
never
get
would have.
something to
He
eat.
never would have planned that.
I never would have planned going to bingo to hang out. Like, that would have been the last thing on my list.
What kind of conversations are y'all having with
I
these
don't
women?
see. I don't think so. It's like I totally get where y'all are coming from, and I just want y'all to get where he's coming from too. It's just that I think that it needs to be more involvement on both sides, depending on where you are on in a relationship. Sometimes it's okay to plan for certain people, but I feel like it goes case by case because I could plan a date for somebody and everything that I plan is something that they don't like. Yeah. Or, you know what I mean? Or they're not interested in it. Or I could be doing things that I'm interested in that I would think that they would be interested in from our conversations, but they're not interested in.
She got her hand up.
Kendra?
Y'all making a lot of excuses. Just talk.
No, because look, I mean, I'll give you another example. I had a situation where I bought some food. Look, I paid for food. I bought food.
That's a big deal. I had
the situation set up, right? And I messed up and I made her steak. Her steak wasn't right. Like ruined the whole night. Like but I'm saying like that's
ruin
like
the whole night.
Yes, because you can't eat. If someone's hungry, you have your mindset on something. So for me, I'm more comfortable saying, "Hey, what would you like to do?" Because I'm legitimately okay with anything.
And that's
I'm
okay
legitimately
too.
okay with that.
I feel like from like the compromise with women like you that like for guys that plan more, I feel like it would be more of a joint planning thing so that the guy can make sure that he's doing something that you're interested in and he's interested in it too. But I feel like y'all would prefer the initiative of like, hey, let's do something. No. Let's think of something. Let's think. Hope Kendra says no. Antoinette looks like she says yes.
Because we could be having a conversation and you could be trying to plan a date, right? So you're like, okay, what kind of foods do you like? Okay, well, I like seafood, for example. Okay, well, I know this one seafood place, or I don't really eat seafood. Would you mind like gambling? Let's see if we like this place. Oh, okay. You like walking? Let's take a little walk. So he is planning the date with me. He's having a conversation and seeing what I like, and he's planning around what it is that I like.
Kendra, that's what I just said.
But you're not waiting. What we're saying is you're not waiting to the day.
No, not
have
the
anything.
Day. No, I didn't say not the day, but like you plan it in advance. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, and it's the initiative.
So we said that before.
You initiate that, right? It's the initiative of you planning the date. Like, you know, okay, you free on Saturday, I'm free on Saturday, and we're planning. That's you, not like Kay Antoinette said. She was the one saying, okay, well, I'm free on Saturday. You're free on Saturday. That's not what we want. We want you to do that. You initiate the whole.
I mean, I can feel that because you want to feel wanted. That's the thing. I mean, everybody wants to feel wanted. I feel that. I didn't think it would be so contentious on this first question. My goodness.
It's not contentious. It's just like we understand where y'all coming from with it, right?
You ain't sound like you understood.
Huh?
You ain't sound like you understood, Kay.
No, because I don't want it to seem like we're just like men got to do everything. We're not those kind of women, right? We can hold our own. I will never be one of those ones that fully advocate for men to just do everything because a relationship takes two people. And if that's the goal, you have to learn how to do those things in the beginning. What we are saying is too many people showing up without any intention, any creativity, any effort. And that's where it starts. So yes, how you start dating matters, even the first date, or if you continue to date within the relationship. And you have to have those conversations. We're not saying it's on one person. But you're not just about to sit here and think that you're going to show up and just throw something together and I'm supposed to be grateful for it because I done got dressed up.
I think I kind of got triggered because like I remember I was dating someone and we like to do different things and they would get mad at me because the stuff that I planned wasn't in the realm of the things that they like to do. And it's like, I don't even know how to plan for the stuff that you like to do. And it's like, I can't just plan that by myself. We'll have to plan that together. If you're dissatisfied with the stuff that I'm planning, we'll have to plan together. But they wanted me to plan what they like to do by myself without their input. And it's like, it's not going to work like that. It's just not.
Okay, I feel that. I can feel that.
Yeah, this is a thing.
Don't you be shaking your head at me.
I feel like
they both got these little shakes, don't they? Man.
Yeah, eyebrow went up over there with Kendra.
Kendra mad.
If a woman is upset or dissatisfied with the date that you chose, I kind of feel like maybe she don't even like you that much in the
That's
first
real.
place. Yeah. Because for me, you're taking me out. I'm your guest. You're showing me a nice time. You know what I'm saying? You're paying for this. Regardless of where we go, if I like you, we should have a good time. Even if, for example, I can't bowl. I don't have an issue bowling, but let's say I can't bowl. I don't really like to bowl. But you planned a date where we bowl. I'm still going to bowl. We're still going to have a good time. I'm not going to be upset that you didn't choose something that I like. You know? Like
everybody not like you.
If we're dating...
That's what I'm saying.
What kind of bitches are you dating?
Y'all unique. Y'all is super unique.
Yeah, I feel that with Kendra because
Kendra
it's
have no
like you said,
filter.
but
I
it goes
love
back
her.
to what you said, Rick. If you like somebody, you like them, and it's more about the person.
Yeah.
But with that being said, like you want to start the way that you hopefully are gonna finish, and
But I mean, like,
you
most
know what I'm
people
saying,
start
we
out
might not be doing
extravagant,
something
though.
we like necessarily. I've gone on dates I didn't necessarily like, but
Yeah.
it also depended on how much I like the person and how enjoyable just being in that space was. But if you're someone who you're just showing up and you just threw something together with your little scrap of free time.
I mean,
And
that
I'm
might be
supposed to
fun, though.
sit in there.
Sometimes them throwing it together days be the most fun days ever.
And I'm not saying they aren't, but what I've seen is people that show up like that, or men that show up like that, not only from my experience,
Yeah.
but from my homegirls and other women in my life, those people actually don't know how to plan. They
Yep.
don't know how to take initiative.
Yep.
And so it's
Mhm.
okay for women to demand that on first sight because I need to know moving forward that you have these skills.
I can respect that.
Yeah,
and
same
everybody
here, same
everybody
here.
needs what they need, and that's really real. So I mean, like, if we want to get into that, then Kendra, what's the best date you ever been on? Tell me
The
about
best
it.
date that I've been on.
Tell us the
was,
tea.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you all.
She
the tea,
she
I
is
always do.
cheesing.
But yeah, because it was a beautiful date, and I hate that. I don't hate, but like we didn't work out as a couple, you know. But it was an amazing date. But I think that's all he had though. After that, the dates were like flat. So
He
I
probably
mean, he
take
had
every
anything else.
woman that he first meet on that first date. He probably say do the same thing.
He do the hitch thing. He got it planned out.
He got it planned.
I highly doubt that, but maybe you never know. I don't
She's
know
like,
what
I'm
the hell
special.
he had
She's
with
the
that food.
prize.
She is
Duh.
surprised. Duh.
But see, let's say I've had guys take me to like expensive ass restaurants where they didn't even show the price of the food, and I wasn't even interested in the food because I ain't that fancy of a eater. But they took me there, to impress me, and I wasn't impressed. So I said that to say this specific date, he spent very little, but it was an amazing date. So when we were talking, we were having conversations, and we both we had some conversation where we both said that we like to watch the sunset, right? Okay, boom. So now he was like, okay, well, let's go to the beach at this time. I can either pick you up or you can meet me here, whatever. We can go and walk the beach. And I told him I like to walk the beach. We walk the beach, watch the sunset, take some pictures of the sunset. And then he was like, are you hungry? I'm like, yeah, I'm hungry. He like, well, I know this nice Thai place. He like, do you like Thai food? I'm like, yeah, I'm a foodie, so it's not like a lot of food I'm gonna be like, no. I'm like, yeah.
Unless you
And
don't
so
have the
he
prices on the menu.
No,
That
this
wasn't
wasn't a
impressive.
fancy. The prices. I'm pretty sure the prices was on the menu, but I didn't even see the prices.
She missed it, but keep going.
But anyways, this was during COVID, so we pull up at the place. You can't eat inside, so we ordered food. We sat in the car while I was talking, waiting for the food. We got the food, and he drove me up some hill. I want to say it was it Hollywood or it was one of these beach areas in the hood in the hill. So you have to like drive up this hill. It was just this beautiful view. Like the sun had already set, but you know that right after it sets type of prettiness.
Yeah.
And we was up on the hill, and we sat in the car, and we
Canceling that over
made
here
plates
smiling.
with the Thai food, and we ate food and listened to my favorite Anita Baker. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
And it was amazing. And then he dropped me off, and he was like, he was like hinting that we had kind of made plans to like watch some TV show together for a second date or whatever. But that
You
was
should
like
just come
one
in
of
and watch
the
it now.
best dates. I feel
So-
like that's the best date I've ever been on because it was so sweet, was so thoughtful, it was things that I like to do and he liked to do, and it probably cost him $20 for that Thai food. I don't know.
So
And gas.
what happened on the second date?
We did not watch that.
That's right. That's my question
We-
because everything went sour.
I know
Because the way she said it, she was like,
She was
the
so
beautiful
hopeful."
sunset and the Thai and Anita Baker. And then she would talk about that second date. She's like, it's just the second date.
it was
And,
just
The
like
second
let's
date,
move
yeah,
on.
because after that he showed that he had no more creativity, or maybe he had pulled out all the works, and then he was ready to get me back to his house the second date.
hey.
So yeah, he was like, because when we talked about watching the show, I was kind of saying like, in the future, after we've dated for a while, and I guess he was saying like the second
Like
date we gonna watch
tomorrow.
this at my house.
He probably was talking about that
So-
night, real
Right,
low
like,
key.
look, we gonna go home. We gonna watch Netflix.
It's like I done bought you Thai food, girl.
He using his cousin Netflix.
Yes. So the second date, he wanted to go watch the show at his house, and I was like, no, it's too soon for that, homie.
Oh.
And then it just didn't happen after that. Yeah, was
He
a
probably kind of felt rejected after that. He's like, well, I ain't getting what I want.
Did he
so.
need to feel rejected? Because I had already told him that was a future type thing
you
if we
hate
continue
that?
to date. Yeah.
You're not about to
See,
just flex.
this is
and
why.
finesse your way into these.
Let me
This-
tell you something. If you are gonna pay, if you are gonna get me to your house, it's not gonna be with $20 Thai food.
See,
Oh,
whoa,
let's just
see,
start there.
this is what I'm talking
just
about.
saying.
That's like
Listen,
the
I'm
perfect
just
thing.
So
saying.
it was a good
I'm
date.
not
It
worth
was
Thai food.
that was your
You
best
just said
date
that
ever.
was your best date, but it's
But
not
he
gonna
can't-
get you in the bed with no $20 Thai food. That
Not
is
after
so
one
Best
date
date
is
gonna
confusing.
get you.
Saying.
No date. If I want to sleep with you, I'll sleep with you when I want to sleep with you. It's the food and the date ain't even gonna
So
match.
if he
So
had,
that's
so if you
better.
wanted to sleep with him and he took you to Starbucks and got some hot dogs from Home Depot,
Listen,
that's it.
No.
That's all you need. That's all you
Y'all hot
require.
dogs at Home
He
Depot.
said hot dogs.
Yeah, they do.
What kind of
outside.
Home Depot y'all got?
That's
think-
what I'm saying. They sell hot dogs at
I think I
Home
found
Depot.
the
You don't have that, Kay?
You know what? I don't really go on Home Depot. We
See.
Okay.
very well have
it's
that.
It's always a
Home Depots have
hot dog
hot
stand
dogs.
outside. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's
I'm gonna have to
hilarious.
go to Home Depot to see if we have one.
But I mean, I'm saying like the Thai food. The way you described this date, you would have thought like,
I
all
know.
right, panty dropper.
I
Like
know,
you would have
right?
thought
It's
like that's the key.
And
You
that's
know?
the problem with you thinking that way.
Exactly.
No,
And I
no,
must- he must
that's-
have been thinking the
It's
same
not,
thing.
It's not
That's
like
not
that. It's just the
that.
vibe of it.
It's just the whole vibe, and the thing is the signal that would like he probably thought
What
like, all
signal
right,
did
this,
I
Well, I mean, we wasn't on
signal
the
did I
date.
give this man?
were you guys not on a date?
Yeah, that's a signal
So the
that you.
signal is the
Okay,
date.
so question. I mean, I'm saying because you were talking about the future, right? You were talking about doing things in the future.
Yeah.
So-
watching a TV show.
When he came out, when he came out with that second date, he did something that made you feel like, nah, this ain't it.
No, he hadn't done anything. He had invited me to his house to watch a TV show, and we weren't at the place where I wanted to be in his
You
house.
didn't feel
like that.
comfortable
We
enough
had only
being in
been
his
on-
house like
Yeah,
that.
we had only
And
been
you
on
said
one
no?
date. Yeah, I said
Yeah, she
no.
said
And he just
That was it.
stopped. He just stopped talking to you.
No, he tried to still like he tried to still what he did after that actually was try to make it seem like the COVID was so bad he couldn't think of any other ideas for dating. So I
Oh
was
my
like,
God,
okay,
that's been
cool.
the excuse the whole
Yeah, I
pandemic.
was like, okay,
swear.
cool.
I've
Yeah.
used that
Oh.
excuse before.
Have you?
Yes, of
What?
course. You haven't?
Look at you.
No.
See,
Oh,
there you
wow.
go.
You
God.
can go to what Sonic and get a freaking not a McFlurry,
Yo,
but
I
Sonic,
love
a Sonic
though,
glass.
low-key.
No,
Or
we
you
don't.
even
we
should.
don't,
I mean,
we
just
don't rep
do
McDonald's.
something.
We rep McDowell's. Okay.
Right, McDowell's.
McDowell's. You can
We
go
have
somewhere,
the
get some
whole
ice
beef,
cream, and
let
sit
us
in the
eat
car.
that.
You can go
Yeah.
somewhere, get some hot chocolate, and sit in the car and play music and
Thank
talk.
you.
It's intention, like, and that's the thing.
I mean,
it's
they
like,
on the
this
West
pandemic
Coast
has
too.
given so many
That's
people
what I'm saying. They keep
excuses
talking
on
about
being
the
nice weather,
lazy.
you know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I'm so simple. Like I like to go for walks.
Yeah.
I like to
You're
walk the
simple.
beach. I like to hike. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing
Like,
about what you said sounds simple.
What
Nothing
was
about what
not
you've
simple
expressed
about
about
that?
yourself is simple, Kendra.
Okay, K. Antoinette, what was your best?
She not
date?
simple either. You're not off the hook either, K. Antoinette. You're
K-
not simple
I
K.
didn't
either.
say-
Antoinette ain't even say
listen,
her
I-
best date yet.
It doesn't take much for me, and I don't even know if this can be considered a date or not. This is debatable with my current situation, but I'll say it anyway.
Oh man.
Whoa.
We got up one day. I decided I was like, we had been talking about like hiking and stuff, or going out in nature, very much nature people. So we went for like a 6 or 7 mile hike. After that, we went to
That would've
Chipotle,
been- that would've
which
been
is
the end
like
of
one
the
of my
date for
favorite
me.
You
places.
would have been tired.
And we got some food. And then after that, what did we do after that? After that, we went and we watched a movie. And from I think on the hike, the whole time we just like listened to music and talked, like as we walked or whatever. And like just it was a whole day that like we spent and just chilled. And so that was probably like one of the best like first dates that I didn't have to like completely
that was
just
the
plan
first
on
date.
my own. I mean, If you're talking about best date,
That's best
you
date
know,
ever. What doesn't have to be a
best date
first date.
ever. I feel like I've always planned.
I mean,
I
it
feel like I've
doesn't.
always
And
planned,
then
but even
it doesn't
even
matter.
saying,
It doesn't matter
yeah,
who
I
planned
do
it.
because I'm a creative person, of course.
Of
One of the best
course.
dates I saw, it was before I was in a my recent situation, and
Situation.
I got
That's what we call it.
situation connection, and I
Just using
found
all
out
these
we had
non-committal
my
words.
relationship. You know
All
what
right,
it
Derek.
is.
Thank you.
God,
Thank you.
stop it. And I found out we had a drive-in theater here because, of course, they couldn't let everybody in the theaters. And I
Right.
love drive-in theaters. So I hit the person up and I was like, hey, let's get some food and then like hit up the drive-in theater. And so we did that. And before we stopped by the store, got some candy, some box candy and like a whole bunch of snacks and
Oh, that's
stuff.
cute.
And then, yeah, we just sat out and watched the movie, and then by the time he came back to, drop me off at home, we sat out in the car and we talked for like a few more hours and stuff. So it was really dope.
That's
Really
awesome.
Yeah, that
simple.
sounds like a
Like it
sweet
doesn't take
date.
a lot. Like it's
Yeah.
just like the small stuff that matters, like in the attention and showing up. Like
Okay.
Yes, and then messing with me, I would have brought food because I would have brought like
I mean,
breaks and
it's a-
shit because
it's a
I like to
drive-through.
eat, healthy.
It's a drive-through.
Exactly
I mean,
what I
exactly.
did.
Yeah.
And you would have just end up paying for the tickets.
The car is like the carload's like $20 a carload. Name it. You have it. What's your best date ever, man?
Well, apparently. All right, let me look into the books.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
So when I think of best dates ever, the first two things that come to mind is kind of like both of them were more or less serendipity. One of them was that I was with somebody at the time and we are just kind of like pinned in the house, and I was like, yo, like let's just get in the car and we don't have to go anywhere specific. Let's just drive. And we drove and we put on some tunes. We rolled down the windows. It was a nice day. And we ended up, I drove near a park, but it was getting late. We didn't go to the park, but we drove by water, got to see the lake breeze on it. It was a very nice day. And we just talked and enjoyed each other's company, enjoyed the music, and just enjoyed the road. And we probably drove for probably like 2 or 3 hours. Like we could have went actually somewhere like out of town, but just being able to sit in the car and enjoy that person's company. Because, for me, it's all about the quality of the person I'm in, not necessarily the quality of the things that we're doing. And for me, that made the event quality. And if I had to think of something else other than that, it would probably be some of the countless bonfires that I've had in the fall. So it's like having someone over and having a bonfire. And what is it? If you're just doing s'mores, you got a couple of drinks and you're sitting and y'all kicking next to each other and just having a conversation, and maybe you have friends there. It's just I'm more into intimate connections where I can sit and have a conversation with the person that I'm into and just be engulfed in that person. That's more my thing.
still intentional, still creative.
Whatever. I am the DJ Blue.
Yeah, so I'm just not gonna say mine because, like I said, they playing me over here, and they don't think
You don't
that
have a best
being
date
fine.
ever.
No,
You don't have a best date ever.
no. Okay, I wouldn't. Honestly, I don't even know. I don't even look to be. I move on really fast mentally.
It wasn't bingo. Like,
I'm trying to even think, man. No, I don't know. I would say anytime I have like a situation where it ends with everybody being happy and just being cool and relaxed, we all
That's the
got
best
food in
date
our
ever?
belly. Those are for me the best dates ever. As long as she's happy at the end of the day and I've done my part, I don't need much. I mean, I'm actually like, bottom line, I don't need much to be entertained. I don't need much to be happy. As long as we're having a good time, we can have a vibe, we can have conversation, and we sleep well at the end of the night. I'm cool with that. Those are the best dates I've ever had.
I mean, that's real, man.
That's my bottom line.
So I feel like Cantonelle already has answered this multiple times, but Kendra, have you ever planned a date for a man that you were dating?
Throw me under the bus.
I mean, you said it.
can't,
Like, you said it. I ain't say it. You said it.
No, but I appreciate that you was honest about it because I think a lot of women do that but they won't admit to it,
Oh,
and then
real
they
talk.
end up in relationships and then act like, well, he don't do this and he don't do that. And it's like, well, he wasn't doing that when you first met him. So let's not act
Sometimes
like
it's
you would just,
useless.
yeah,
I think-
exactly. It's not
And I think that's fine. And I think that's fine both ways. But I feel like at the beginning of the relationship, you have to understand what you're willing to take and what you're willing to put up with and what you're like. So traditionally, like you might feel like a man is supposed to plan those types of things. And if that's what you're looking for, then you need to find a man that can fill that role. If not, you have to accept the role that man can fill and not try to make that man fill a role that he's not built to meet, and vice versa.
Or get up and leave as soon as you figure out. Yeah, this
Right. I'm about to say, I mean, in all of those situations.
that's what I'm saying too, though. But I mean, it's just like you put up with what you put up with. Don't settle for something that you're not happy with, because don't blame them for them not being what you want. Like, get what you want.
Yes.
It ain't blaming them so much, but it's certain basic principles of like just being a dateable adult. I think a lot of people just don't have it. I mean, I'm serious. And it's not saying like, of course, choose the right people for you. Choose compatible people. And that means actually people that comes with a lot of these skills. But these are skills that you're going to need to properly and healthily date, regardless of the person. So sometimes it's just about, like I said, sometimes it takes a minute for you to realize like, dang, I've been planning all these dates because, you so used to taking charge, or you're so used to, or the connection is so seamless. Because that happened too. I was getting along with the person, or the guy, the men that I was dating, and I had to take a step back, and I was just like, wait a minute,
yeah,
we don't never get up unless I initiate or whatever. The only time they initiate is whenever they're offering to do something basic, like come sit in the parking lot, or come Netflix and chill. And that's not effort. That's not attention. That's not creativity.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not trying to come from nobody. I'm just saying. These are the basic skills that we're talking about that goes into dating. Are the skills that people need to know how to do in order to be healthy dating partners.
Right.
So, have you ever done it, Kendra? Have you ever planned a date for a man?
Oh,
whether
yeah.
you're dating or not.
Kind of, and I kind of think I did one time, and it kind of blew up in my face, so I never did it again. But he had planned like the first date, which was cool. I think it was like 1 or 2 dates he had planned, and it was this one movie had came out that I wanted to see. So I was like, hey, do you want to go see this movie? And he was like, yeah, that do seem like a good movie. And I was like, okay, where do you want to go, or whatever, And he was like, well, I'm free on this time or whatever. And then he was like, during this, we was texting, and he was like, wait, who's paying for this? And I was just like,
what?
Well, I thought you were, but you expect me to pay? And he was like, well, yeah, you're asking about it, so I just, and I was just like, I was just thrown off, like, oh, okay. So then I took that as, well, I'm not gonna initiate anything else if they assume that I'm supposed to pay for it, because I, in my head, and I guess everybody is different now, especially in our generation, but in my head, I was just throwing the idea out there that I want to see this movie, and you being the man that is pursuing me, you would want to pay. But that didn't happen that way. So in that case, I feel like I did try to plan a date, but it blew up in my face. So we didn't even go, and I never tried it again.
I feel like that's fair, like on both sides. I can see where you're coming from, but I definitely see where he's coming from. The gender roles are changing and things are different. So it's not always assumed that the man is always going to pay. It depends on if that's been established in your situation or not. Like, I think we've talked about it on this show plenty of times where it's like, I'm traditional. Like, I want to pay most of the time, at least most of the time, majority of the time I want to pay. Sometimes I don't mind being treated. And for a guy, like, it really means a lot to be treated. And I can think of a ex that took me out. She planned a whole date. It was a Sweeties Day. And she planned a whole date, and it was, like, dope. She took me to, like, a cider mill. And, we did wine tasting. We got cider and donuts. And then she took me to a play. And it was like really dope. It was really dope to, one, not have to plan anything or worry about what's going on, because I'm really easygoing. A lot of times, like, I'll just go with the flow. So it's like she planned it out. I'm going with the flow. And it was nice to not have to pay for once. So don't what are you giving me that face for, Kent, on that?
Why am I giving you this face, Rick?
I don't know, because I'm
said it felt good to what? You felt good. It felt good she planned and what?
Mm-hmm.
It felt good to not have to plan.
Hello?
Actually, look, I'll defend a point that's not necessarily for me for us to have a diversity in a conversation, but it don't necessarily mean I agree. But in that particular situation, I felt good to not have to make any plans or do anything, like, because a lot, like, women a lot of the women that I've tended to date, they like to go out a lot. And me, I like to stay in a lot. Like, I would prefer to stay in. Let's get something. Let's do a puzzle. let's watch a movie, let's make some popcorn, something like that. And if you want to go all the time, then it's like it's only so much energy I have to plan going out because it takes energy for me to leave the house. So it's harder for me to plan those events. But Naaman, have you ever had a woman plan a date and take you out?
Nope.
Next question.
Next question, man. Don't ask me no dope. You know I haven't, man. No. Let me think. So that again goes to I've had women to try to plan, but the thing is, like, I don't like people planning things for me because the thing is that takes my time and I don't want to commit to that type of stuff. So if I want to leave,
as commitments issues are coming up again,
I want to have that hard out. And it's the truth. I can't help it. That's how I feel. But the thing is, I avoid situations like that. But no, I've never had anybody actually come out and be like, well, hey, let's just do this. I'm going to plan the whole day. Everybody looks for me to plan stuff. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it because I'm that guy. You can literally call me, say, what are you doing? I'll say absolutely nothing. Do you want to do this? Sure. Why not? Real. Like literally, I'm that guy. And then somebody else will call me and be like, what are you doing? I'm doing this right now. And then I'm busy.
Come through.
Right. It's like, well, won't you come through afterwards? All right, cool. Let's do it. Let's see what's happening.
That's real.
I mean, so no, I've never had anybody just be like, well, yeah, let's go here. Let's do this. Let's eat this. Let's do that. Then you can rub on my buns. No, never has that ever happened.
Okay.
Never has that ever happened.
All right.
I hope you have that experience.
Thank you, K. Antoinette. Now, that's the sweetest thing anybody's ever said to me.
She is sweet.
I am so sorry.
I appreciate that. Kendra, can you add into that? Can you add
Kendra's
into
like,
that?
nope.
I wish you well, too. I wish
Thank you,
somebody would
Kendra.
go ahead and do that for you.
Thank you, Kendra. I appreciate
Maybe
that.
you'll straighten up.
Maybe so. Maybe my commitment issues will disappear.
But I do agree with y'all on some level. Like, you have to have some spontaneity, right? I mean, you have to have that. I mean, but that goes hand in hand with creativity too.
For sure. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thinking about being in an actual relationship and past the courting phase, what are some things that y'all do in order to keep the dates fresh? Like for me, I feel like the grand gesture kind of dates that you do when you first get together, they become further between. And I feel like the smaller, more intimate, intentional moments, like that's a word that Antoinette likes to use, intentional moments to where it's like, hey, we've been in the same house for like a week. Like, let's go to a park or let's sit at a table. Because a lot of times, especially like when you're in an actual relationship, you don't have that money. That's one thing, like we dating and I'm balling out. But like once we get in that relationship, you can't ball out like 5 days a week. You know what I'm saying?
It happened during the pandemic.
Can I just say something real quick about that?
What you saying?
Because one, I don't even like those extravagant getting dates. You know, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, but I don't really feel like putting heels on all the time. But and then I'm not, like I said, I ain't impressed by those fancy dates anyway. So I don't even like them. So I'm not an advocate for them. But I have to say, when you take a woman out on extravagant dates all the time, she's going to be set up now to expect those.
Yeah.
And then when you pull back and you like, well, I was just doing that to impress you, you know, that could be.
I mean, but you can do
I feel like that's
you can do that like once a month. It's just not every time that we go out we can't do that.
Well, communicate that
too.
in the beginning, though. Yeah, you have to communicate that in the beginning. But I do think that, like, yeah, the intimate activities start to happen. So I think for me, like, we do bike rides sometimes, or like some nights we'll have like a bowl of popcorn and just watch a movie.
That's real.
Or like even like something simple as like cooking together, deciding like what we want to eat for dinner and like doing that together.
It's cool
and then
cooking
actually
together.
sit down at and actually sitting at the table and eating it, because I think a lot of times. I don't think we've done it, but you know, you get, you know, couples that kind of stray away. They're trying to eat while they're trying to do X, Y, and Z and everything else. So, you know, the date could be something as simple as making dinner and sitting down and eating it together.
That's real.
But at the same time, you also have to make room for things outside of the home because you don't want things to get stale. So it is important for y'all to make time to dress up for each other. Right, I've been seeing you in
talking about role
sweatpants
play?
for 14 days in a row.
Talk
No,
about-
I mean I do want to role play though, but I've been seeing you in sweatpants and pajama pants for 14 days in a row. Let me see you with some slacks and a nice shirt. You know what I'm saying? I want to put on some heels because I've been having this bonnet on for however long. Like
Not
it's
the
important
bonnet.
to do that stuff with each other, or to actually like. I think I do this too, or we do this too. It's like discover things outside as a new activity. So like we'll try something new, that we haven't tried before. So
Yeah,
that's how you keep it fresh. Yeah.
I feel like the cadence really changes from more so going out to more having those intimate moments. It's kind of like a flip. And it would have been one thing, like going back to Kendra's point, like after that really romantic date that she had that one time, if she had probably if y'all had went on a couple more dates, I mean, it didn't necessarily have to be to that extent. Then it's like, hey, why don't you come to the crib and watch this?
Exactly.
Which it would have been a whole different story. So Kendra, so when you're in a relationship, how do you keep the dates fresh once y'all kind of settled into being together?
I think I'm really creative when it comes to stuff like that. Now, if I have somebody that's compatible with me, I feel like my past few relationships, the person is not compatible with me on that level. So the things that I'm interested in, they're not necessarily interested in, or they don't find those things fun. And vice versa. But like I'm creative to where like I like to do things. Like I'll be watching TV and I'll see things. Like I'll create a sip and paint in my own damn house. Like I'll be like, let's paint. Yeah, like let's paint this or whatever. I love trying new healthy recipes. So you don't even gotta cook, but just come and watch me. We'll have conversation while I'm cooking, and I'll be
Just
showing
keep you company.
why. Yeah, just keeping me company while I'm cooking us dinner. I like to do things like if I have an event, me and my daughter ends up planning a lot of our family events together. So like I might have like little baggies that I need to make. You could come over and help me make the baggies. Or I hate putting stuff together. So if I got a man, I got a project for you. I got treats for you too, but I got a project for you.
Right.
And I'm a good helper though. Like I won't just make you put that IKEA thing together by yourself. I'm a good helper, so we're gonna coach each other and get this project created. And not only that, like I love DIY projects. So I might get something in my head and I'm like, I need to make this and I'm gonna involve you. But that's just me. And like I said, it hasn't really worked in my favor because I feel like, the men that my past relationships, they weren't as compatible with me, and it's like they didn't really want to, do it. And it's like you don't really need to be into it, but the fact that I want to do it, you should just come and do it for me. Like you may not be into pain.
I mean, that works sometimes,
and I would do the same thing.
Huh?
I said that works sometimes, but not all the time.
Not all the
Like
time,
you want
but I'm
the
talking
person
about
to-
they were
Constantly.
just poor sports all together. Like, do you want to go for a walk? No. Do you want to do this? No. Do you want to do this? No. It's like
Antoinette is triggered.
No, because so many. But that's a part of the dating conversation too. So many men, like women, date themselves. They date their friends, right? Women will get up and they'll go to dinner. They'll go and do all these different activities with each other. Men don't really do that. Men play the game. They might shoot some hoops. They go to the gym. They go to work. That's it. And so they don't know a lot of the stuff that they like until they try it with a woman in a lot of cases.
I got you.
just be
that
willing
plays
and
a big
open.
part
I
to it,
think
yeah.
if you like me enough and you want like something, I don't know if you said this on the last or this episode, but like choosing to be in that relationship with me. So
Yeah, you
if
gotta
you're
choose
choosing
to
to
be
be
in
in
that.
that relationship with me every day, then when I want to paint, then paint. Okay, I might play the game with you. I don't give a damn about this game. Not interested in it, but I have played because you've asked me to play with you.
Cancel not like playing the game. Don't front.
It's all
I
about
do like playing
being a good sport.
It's certain games though.
And
Some
when I
games
lose,
don't
I
care
just
for.
unplug it, so I don't have to worry about it. I'll just unplug the game if I'm losing.
If you're low on funds, what are some good date ideas that you can think of?
You gonna waste that question on me? you gonna really waste that.
I mean,
question
if you're low on funds, like what is something that you would do if you didn't have much money?
So I had a situation where me and a young lady I really liked. I don't talk to her anymore, but I basically I gassed up the car. I gassed up the car. I put a blanket in the back seat. We went and watched Straight Outta Compton.
Oh man,
In the
where
park.
y'all was in the park.
In the park. We laid on the blanket, and I mean I didn't have any money. I didn't have any money, and
Sounds a lot like
I was broke, so
I don't have time
figured,
for him.
I figured I'd just go.
Sounds very familiar.
Does
I know,
it?
right?
See,
Too
and you know
familiar.
what?
Sounds like something I've done before.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. Me personally, anytime I've gone out on a date with someone, I've only gone out with them with money in my pocket.
That's real. So
I
you don't
swear
like
to
to
you.
date with money not in your pocket?
Hell no. And I'll tell you why. It's not to show that I have money. It's not to show that I can do this or I can do that. But my thing is this. I don't believe in getting into a situation where I can't provide. You
There
know
you
what
go,
I mean?
right there.
I want to be able to
Kendra,
provide.
right.
So if I wanna take her somewhere, or like I say, if I want to be spontaneous and say, hey, well, we've eaten, we've gone to a movie. Hey, let's go to an after hours and let's maybe play some pool or something like that. I want to be able to invite them there and pay for it, because after all, it is the right thing. If I'm going to invite you somewhere, then I pay for it. And I think that's fair. That's not like a male thing, in my opinion, or a feminine thing. I think that's what I'm saying. I'm saying based on the fact, like, I don't really go out if I don't have any money. And I'll be like real, like, look, if you want to go out with me, that's cool. But look, I'm broke this week. You know what I mean? Or I'm broke. I'll be broke for the next few days. I'll have some money this day and we can hang out and we can do whatever.
I feel like it's cool as long as you say it up front and you set the expectations
and it
of
is.
what you can do.
And the thing is, I've done it anytime. I swear to you, anytime I've done it, the female will be like, well, it's cool. You know, I'll take care of it. It's not a big deal. And I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I got you next time. And then we do that. Hey, I'll take care of it next time. We'll put it like that. And that's how I would kind of, I don't know, what's the word? Reciprocate, I guess, with everything that was happening. If I did not have and I went out. But usually if I don't have any money, I'm not going anywhere.
No, I feel you. That's real.
I'm not the type of guy to leave my wallet at home. Unless I'm with you, Richard. My wallet never leaves with me. And so you got it. You got it though. You balling.
Yeah, okay.
You balling.
So Kendra, what about you? What are some tips that you have for if you're dating on a budget? What kind of stuff can you do? Like if say someone wants to take you out and they don't have much money, what are some of the things that they could plan for you two to do that will make a memorable date?
First of all, I want to recommend you not taking me anywhere if you don't have any money.
Oh my goodness.
Just because I, as a woman, whether I'm dating or I'm hanging with friends, family, or whatever, I don't go nowhere if I don't have no money, because I don't know what's going to happen where I need to take care of Kendra, and I'm not going to rely on you to do so. If I'm in a relationship, it's different because I will leave my purse at home, because sometimes I just like to grab my keys and go. And if I'm with you, then you need to have your shit together. But you know, since we're giving dating tips, I think some things that you can do when you don't have money is the beach. I think watching the sunset is underrated. I think men don't understand how much a woman can appreciate just watching the sunset. You know, bring some grapes, bring some
You
fruit.
and these grapes.
Yeah, like, or a picnic. I actually had a guy set up a picnic date for me in the morning, and I overslept, and he never talked to me again.
I'll never talk to you again either.
I don't know why I know I'm not a morning person. I was like, yeah, I'll just get up early for you, and I didn't. But anyways, it was the thought that counts. That's another free, or almost damn near free date. Anywhere you can set up, whether it be a park or a beach, and like one of those what are those boards called? The charcuterie boards. What are those called? With the cheese.
Charcuterie board.
Yeah, with the cheese and stuff. I think that's a good date. I think exercising is a nice free date. That's where, I don't meet a lot of men who like to exercise like me, but like hiking is good. Even working out together to a degree, like little racing, basketball game. You can watch Netflix in your own house, not together, but in separate houses. You can watch that together and talk to each other, and you can FaceTime each other. Because
neither one of y'all paying for Netflix.
I pay for Netflix.
I'm just joking. I'm joking. I don't pay for mine. That's fine.
But I think those are some really fun, sweet, cute dates. And I wouldn't be mad at it.
No, I feel you. I will say that I advocate for being financially responsible when it comes to certain things, especially if you're dating. And it's not that you might not have the money to go out, but you might not have the money you might want to see a person, but you might not have the money to spend to do a lot. That's more so how I mean for the question. Cancel that. Okay. I want you to wake up and I want you to tell me this, and then we're going to finish up.
So if you're looking for like an affordable date and you are a little low on cash, first of all, please do not ask to go to the person's house. That is not the way to do it. And
Thank
don't
you.
make
I
the
co-sign that.
right, and don't make the other person responsible for
Funding it.
financially
Yeah.
financially funding that date, because they don't need to feel like they're already taking care of you. That's no. But you can every county has every state actually has what they call it state parks. So you can Google your local state park by county, and they'll have probably like several in your area. And a lot of times people don't know that they're in their location, and you can take that person there. You need to know if that person is an outside person though. That's important, because a lot of times we'll say parks and stuff like that. I'm an outdoor girl more so than most women, but that's not everybody's case. As well as if you're trying to date a man, but anyway. You can also like do the small stuff like Kendra mentioned earlier, like arts and crafts. Like that's always a good thing. If you want to get a little saucy with it, take some canvases and some easel boards and some paints and stuff out to a park and paint the landscape. And that's stuff I have in my house. If you that kind of person, if you are low on cash, you cannot beat a walk and some ice cream. Ice cream is like
that's
$1.
so real. That's so
Like
real.
you really can't. And then afterwards, put on some tunes in the car and talk. And the person will feel so special. Hopefully you have the ability to have a good conversation with the person. But also, like, after a while, them slow jams will come, them old school slow jams will come on the radio. Or either you'll have a playlist in your phone that you can play. And there you go. You can watch the sunset in the car or outside the car on a blanket.
Going back to Kendra's date.
Right. It's just like it's really so much stuff you can actually do that requires little to no money. People just got to be, like I said, creative and get out that box of thinking that you got to have money to take somebody to a movie that costs $40 and then dinner that costs $100 plus. Like you don't have to do all that. Sometimes it's the simple stuff. If you want to do a morning date, you can take somebody for a walk in the morning and breakfast afterwards. Or provide breakfast afterwards on, somewhere at a different location,
like your eggs,
other than
girl.
your house. Yeah, other than your house. It's. I mean, you can go to swing by McDonald's and get a freaking
cup of coffee,
a cup of coffee or something. But I mean, it's simple stuff. It's just about the intention and the creativity behind it. Like, don't just show up and do nothing.
Well, I got a few for y'all because I remember being in a relationship and I didn't have much money. So, you gotta, I feel like the more limitations you have and the less money you have, the more creative you gotta be. So like you said you hit a depending on the season, depending on the state. Yeah, state parks are always a good option. I will add on top of that, usually museums are pretty cheap. Yeah, museums are pretty inexpensive. Usually, like a lot of times they're free, and you can really learn a lot from somebody by going through a museum. Especially like I love taking dates to the art museum. It's great to get to their input on different art and stuff like that. And if you look in normal times, usually if you look in your city and your county and your state, there's usually events going on all over the place, and a lot of times they're free. The blanket story, that came from a free event. Like, we didn't pay to go see the movie in the park. Ha ha ha.
That's what we're calling it.
Yeah, we didn't.
The blanket story.
The blanket story. We didn't pay to go see that movie. Like that was like that part of the date was free. So I think the less money you have, the more creative you have to be, and you have to understand the person that you're dating. So if you're dating someone too, something as simple as going to get stuff to make hot chocolate and renting a movie. Sometimes that's enough. So, just being creative. And for all the fellas that's out there listening, you've heard Kendra and Cantonette say this. It's more about being intentional and actually, planning a date. And sometimes you got to plan within your budget and being creative about it. So what are your intentions? Are you being creative? And if you stick to those things, I feel like a lot of times you don't have to spend a lot of money in order to have a great date. Because remember, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter how good or great the things that y'all did was. If your company is horrible, then it's going to be a horrible date. If you had a good time, if you can be a good person, because I know that everybody's dated people where if one thing goes wrong, then the whole day is ruined. Today sucked. It wasn't perfect. And I don't like being around those type of people, because I'm an easy going type of guy. It's like, hey, we have each other. We have some really good conversation. yeah, like our clothes are wet. Like I got a stain on my pants. Like my shoes got messed up. But you know what? We had a good time. I mean, I'm just throwing stuff out there. Don't make no sense.
What happened to your clothes and your shoes?
I mean, we got a little wet. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we fell into the lake. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, like just being intentional and being creative, I feel like that goes a long way. You know, I just wanted to thank y'all again for coming on. I guess I'll change up this time. Kendra, go ahead and let folks know where they can holler at you at.
You guys can find me on Instagram at Coffee with Kendra. Everything spelled correctly. I'm on all major platforms, including YouTube at Coffee with Kendra. And if you're interested in having me on your show, you can reach me at coffeewithkendra@gmail.com.
Holler
Or
at
you
her.
can slide in my DMs. I'm open.
Oh, her DMs are open, y'all.
Intentionally.
Intentionally open.
With some intention.
Kay Antoinette, what about you?
You can follow me on Instagram at @KAntoinette_the blogger. You can also follow my page at let's_build_futures. And you can also find my podcast on all your major streaming platforms at LBF Podcast.
Yeah, well, as always, thank you for listening. To be a part of the conversation, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Rick and Naaman. Please be sure to rate and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcasting app. You can find me at Doddism, and that's DODDSISM, and you can find Naaman at
I am the DJ Blue.
But until next time, boys and girls, remember,
There's always a next time.